Kevin, congratulations, a 2-0 victory over Stamford this afternoon. We won't talk too much about the league position because we don't want to get too carried away about that, but you have ascended to the top of the table with today's result. But it'll be the result that please you and the performance, the clean sheet, no doubt, as well.
I think the manner of the victory was probably the most pleasing thing, and that's looking from one end of the field to the other. We've not made any glaring errors. By and large, we've managed the ball well. I think the first half there's not a lot in it. They probably shot slightly shaded the possession of the ball, maybe. But I think we've worked their goalkeeper better in situations throughout the afternoon. I think when you look at it from that perspective, we were dominant in the second period. But yeah, just the manner of the overall performance and obviously the victory is really, really pleasing. Delighted for everybody when we come back here. It seems an absolute eternity since we've been here and played in front of a home crowd. But yeah, it's a nice afternoon to share and hopefully have a few more of them.
Sure. I guess patience was a key word today. I say there wasn't an awful lot in that first half. You did get more from your team in the second half. I think you said just before we came on camera here that you asked them for a little bit more and asked them to move the ball a bit more quickly. Probably got a little bit of luck in terms of the goal, but I guess you could argue that the work you've put in maybe earned that luck as well.
I think so. I think you're trying to keeping the squeeze on opposition when you get in those areas and moments and situations. And however, goals come about, it's making sure that we are in the right place to go and seize the opportunity when it presents itself. And like I say, I think you're quite right. We won more of those individual battles in the second period. Move the ball with a little bit more purpose and quality, and continue to squeeze and keep the squeeze on Stamford. They're a good side, and they'll be right in and around it without any shadow of a doubt. It's obviously hit them hard. They lose their captain, who's a good player at this level, and him coming out, I think, may have had a bit of effect. But look, they took some breaking down. But our concentration level is really good today. The goals we scored, like I say, you might have been a little bit fortuitous with the first one, but the second one's a fantastic move, and it kind of allowed us to win the game almost in the manner that we would have liked.
Sure, and you really didn't. You need the second goal, don't you? In those situations, you don't want to be going into the last few minutes of a game with it still 1-0 because things can happen, a free kick, a set piece, and it can turn around. So it's really important to get that second goal.
Without a doubt. How many times we've been there this season where, like I say, small moments that have ended up costing us taking all 3 points. It's happened more occasions than we'd like. But again, you look at the closeness of the league, and anyone can beat anyone if they're having a good, a going day, and it is their day, then you can be on the end of some tough moments, and we have been ourselves this season without a doubt. But the most important thing is, like I say, getting the 3 points, that change room staying strong, hopefully getting the other side of it with most everybody still fit and available. And today's, with the addition of Max, he's probably in a stronger squad as we've had all season. Disappointed to lose Byron again, but Jakob's got off the bench and put in a great shift, and been out a long while himself as well. Pleased with how it's panned out today. Clearly another tough game next week and on a difficult surface, and that's what we've got to do. Roll the sleeves up and making sure we're showing those concentration levels again next week.
Sure, and we know that the remaining fixtures this season, the fixture list is weighed heavily in favour of home games, and it's important that you do obtain maximum here as much as you can, and the crowd were a big help today as well. I thought they stuck with you.
Well, massive. They keep singing, and just the infectious nature that it is when the crowd's behind you, and fantastic when they keep lifting us and keep squeezing themselves and keep egging us on and moving us on. It's a big thing here, and if we can get keep developing crowds and getting people behind us. And equally, I know players and management, we've got to do enough to merit that, where people are coming in and want to see us play and feel excited by what we're trying to do and what we're capable of. It is a two-way street. If we don't show that effort level and technical quality at times, people won't want to come and see us. They will have their gripes and what have you like. But yeah, it's nice when it does come together. As I say, we've been and had some difficult moments this season, certainly away from home. Moments here that wouldn't have been where we'd like them to be. But you have to show enough resolve and togetherness to get through that and get the other side of it, and hopefully, try to build some momentum going into the latter part of the season.
Sure. I know you said to radio colleagues just behind us here that in terms of defensively today, as much as it was a clean sheet, and I know you've been, working through and trying to understand what's behind the some of the defensive malaise this season, really. And at the same time, you've only had one session since Tuesday night, so it's not necessarily reflective of that, but it's something you've got to keep working on.
Without a doubt, there was a few not training there on Thursday, so excuse me, we weren't able to get on the grass and necessarily work on anything on that front. But what we were able to do was get into the classroom and have a look at it on the video, and people be open and honest about situations and where they can go and do better and how they can manage moments better. And again, learning can take place off the back of it visually. And yeah, you don't right all the wrongs in 1-2 hour session or whatever it might be. You have to stay at it all the time and continue to drive those messages home and making sure you're driving high standards. And yeah, it's something we know we need to be on top of all the time, because you look at the tightness of the league and we know, and one thing we should have learned from this season is there's not a lot between any side at the level. And like I say, if people are turning up and having a bit of a going day, it can make for a long afternoon. We've experienced, as I say, a few of that. I think you look at the Stratford game, and we're on the end of a bit of a beating there. But with the greatest respect, when you see the game overall, we were the dominant side. They played us on the counter a couple of times and taken all the points. And yeah, it can feel tough and it can feel difficult. But that's where we need to, like I say, keep believing together, show a response to if things should pan out like that. Clearly, we don't want them to, but that can happen. But it's how you then respond to it and how you keep going. And like I say, the character of the lads through the course of last Saturday, Tuesday as well, where minutes to go, people are getting off the bench and we've made the changes and been bold and got something out of the game. And it may not be the worst point come the end of the season, I don't know. But we always want to win. Yeah, just again, I always urge people to try and keep a perspective on what we're trying to do.
Sure. And in terms of that league position, just to finish, you won't be reading too much into that one. I suppose in one perspective, for perhaps the first time this season, you have had an opportunity to perhaps lay down a bit of a marker against some of the other teams and have finally taken that one, so that might help.
Yes, we've spoken about it many times before, haven't we, where, like I say, we know there's a chance if we were to win the game that we could have moved ideally to the top of the table. It's nice to be there, but we don't read too much into it. Clearly, teams have got games in hand, and there's a lot of football to be played. And as I say, how the season unfolds and how you find that momentum and gain that momentum going into the latter part of the season. Hopefully, that we've got some massive games to face and to hopefully enjoy together. And that's where it needs to be. Really tough game next weekend as well, and hopefully we can get people through the course of the week fit and available. Some good players in and around it that not having Remy in the group. Carl's come out of it and he's had a good input in today. He's helped out with the restart moments and just lending his experience and knowledge in that area. His good understanding of the game and kind of made my job in some ways a little bit easier. We've got so many to choose from, but yeah, I think he's enjoyed that moment. And it is about everybody putting an extra little bit of effort in, as disappointed as they are not to be in the side, that they are putting something into it. And hopefully as a group, we can continue to grow and hopefully be successful.
Sure. Kevin, we appreciate your time as always.
Thank you.